Hiya Soundies. So today's class is called Avant and Apple Loops, and you should already have the project file that I prepared for you, which is this file you can see on the screen now. And essentially it is just an empty project file that contains a movie. The movie in question being Walter Ruttman's Opus 4 from 1925, which is rather like the video that I showed you, that I put on to the found sound exercise we did last week. Is an avant-garde piece. And your task, your brief, will be to produce a sound design or a musical piece, or preferably both, that underscores the visual sequencing in this film. The film is under 4 minutes, and again this would be an entirely legitimate exercise to do for a piece of assessed work, not necessarily this film, but something similar. That's completely acceptable. The purpose for this exercise is to show you Apple loops, where we can take pre-configured loops that are supplied as part of the library for Logic, and alter them and treat them and put them onto the timeline to create a musical construct without actually having to perform any music itself. That doesn't mean that this exercise should be performed using Apple exclusively. You are free to use any of the technical or operational skills that we've already looked at. I think the sampler would work very well for this project as well. But it's a creative piece, so it's entirely up to you. But the purpose of this clip is to demonstrate what you can do with Apple loops. So I'm not going to try and design this. I'm just going to show you various techniques to try and keep this clip as brief as possible, which you can incorporate as part of this project. So as we look at it, we can see pretty much what it is. Okay. So this is an interpretation. There's no such thing as signifying with sound. You're providing a sound signification to enhance the visual experience. Anyway, first of all, let's actually open Apple Loops. So I'm going to click on this little icon up here, which is next to the browser, called Loop Browser. And I'm going to click on that, and it gives us a whole range of different types of loops. So if I'm going to click on the 12-bar blues, and can you see it's looping? If you look down here, where my mouse is, it just loops around and around. I can switch off the preview. That's the preview button here, so I can switch that off. Also, regardless of what the BPM is up here. By the way, if you don't have your BPM, just click on here and select Beats and Project. So it'll tell you what your beats per minute is on the timeline. The default is 120. So if I move this down now to 80, which is the tempo that this that's the pace. Yeah, right. Okay, so whatever that is, this, regardless of what the original tempo is supposed to be, whether it's 107 beats per minute, or whether it's 140 beats per minute, or whether it's 90, or whatever it is, it'll always conform the beats per minute to whatever this is set at. Also, it gives you the keys. Yeah. Because there are quite a few of these, look, that's quite a few to be ploughing through. You can actually choose a particular instrument, like for example beats. So if I click on beats, I get, let's see what I've got. So that's how it sounds like at 80 beats per minute. At 130, that's how it's supposed to sound. So it gives us lots of scope. I'm going to go back to my 120 beats per minute. Well, actually, tell you what, let's be funky and let's take it down to 60. There we go. What's that sound like now? So I'm going to drag that on. So I'm going to drag it on, and I'm just creating a new timeline, a new track I should say, and there it is. And then I can just drag that along. Now there are other things that I can do for this. For example, I've just basically looped it. Can you see it? By just positioning my cursor at the very top and creating this little loop icon, I can just drag that. I can then, if I right click on it, convert loops to regions. So if I click on that, now they become individual regions that I can just delete should I wish to. So that's a great way of populating your timeline without having to individually cut and paste this loop. I'm going to undo those deletes because I don't know if I want to delete them at that point. There we go. There are other things that we can do. You can add all the effects, for example. Let me just go onto the correct track. So there we go. The compress and the channel EQ is already there, so you can treat them. So you can, put, I don't know, let's have a low cut. Or reduce mids. I like that. Or something a bit more profound, like phone filter notch, one of my faves. Yeah. I'm going to undo all of that because that's up to you. So I'm just going to, I'll leave a bit of add brightness, and there we go. So I shouldn't talk over the backing track, should I? But also, if you look here, can you see there's this transpose here? So if I click and select -12, it should lower the octave range of this sample. Let's try 24. Or oh, that sounds very interesting. That sounds quite interesting. It changes the whole nature of that sound, doesn't it? So I can take that right down. And I can add something else. So let's, oh, by the way, let me just make a point of showing the difference between the ones that are posted with the little blue icon. That means it's an audio file. The ones with the little green icon with the music, they are actual MIDI files. So I shall just get a two-step. There we go. So I'm going to drag that. I'm going to paste that underneath, like so. And if we double click on that, we can see it is in fact a MIDI file, like so. And we can let me just zoom out a bit, and we can employ. Let's. I've not started at the beginning of the bar here. Look, so let me just fix that. So I'll just highlight all of those, and let's move it. Make sure your snap is on for this because you're going to want it to snap to. There we go. So I want to come in at that point. There we go. So those obviously don't go together, but you get the point. So let's try something else. Let's try. So I'm going to drag that on to here, 86 disco beat. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about the quality. I'm just showing you technique. And of course, with a MIDI track, I believe this is a MIDI track. Oh no, this is a rhythm track. I haven't shown you that yet. Not to worry. We'll just let that go. Lots of effects on there. Let's choose something less problematic. All right, then we'll have that. Mirage Topper. And so on. So I'll just drag those. Like so. And I can convert those to regions as well. So I can, if I want, then chop out every other one. So it sounds like this. What if I wanted to be a bit quicker? I can still just drag all this stuff up and it'll all conform to that speed. So let's take it up to 107. Weird. And go back down to 60. Like so. And again, this is audio, so I can transpose it so it's a bit lower. If I don't want to transpose it as much as 12, I can just double click and say, right, I want it to be just minus 4 semitones lower. There we go. So I can close that down. I can go for genres, different types of musical genres, vintage breaks, hip hop, orchestral, cinematic, or I can go to descriptors. So let's have something. What have we got? Dark. Ooh, abstract atmosphere. What's that sounds like? Oh, okay. Let's have that there. See how that's 2 bars long. So let's have a little listen to that. Yeah, you get the idea. I can actually chop that down to just 1 and see how that works. Let's try other ones. Okay, so there's a little bit of a... So at this point, when we go to sort of more abstracty stuff, I can say, right, I want to start on this. And I'm going to get rid of all of that from now on. And just go straight into this for a bit. Okay, don't forget you've got plugins, you've got the sampler to add any extra sounds that you want to yourself with some sound effects. You can do a kind of a backbeat with kind of live sounds, that kind of ambient kind of 90s kind of future sounds of London type dead cities kind of thing happening. You can do whatever you like. You've now got the skills. Let's see what you can come up with. So that's as far as I go. Just demonstrates various skills. Yeah. Okay. So go and have a cup of tea and then have a little bit of a play.